I'm tired of being shocked. I'm tired of us trying to break down, like, well, what did he mean by White Lives Matter? Or why would he say that? Or why is he doing, like, how do we call it?
It's the Rap Life Review. We are together again. Make sure you subscribe to this here YouTube that you're watching, and also add the Rap Life playlist in Apple Music. We got some big albums this week that drop. Big up to NBA YoungBoy dropped yet another album, debuted #2 on the charts. E40 Shy Glizzy. 3800 Degrees is the name of the album, playing on the Juvie album cover from back in the day. Herbo, Survivor's Remorse, #1 album in the service on the debut. And Quavo Takeoff debuted at #3, only built for Infinity Links, the strongest link. Lo, how'd you like to play on the Ghostface Raekwon album cover, only built for Cuban Links?
I think that's them paying respect, paying homage. That's cool. You know, the young guys from Atlanta paying respect to the OGs from New York.
And even sampled the Outkast record on the album.
Sample was it So Fresh, So Clean?
Yep.
They flipped it very well. I was unexpectedly pleased with it. I wanted to hate it, but they kept.
Why?
They're not. I mean, because like I'm just very, very, I'm very sensitive with certain records. That you don't. But that record, they kept it clean. They kept it simple. They followed the same flow. And it's another, just a respectful salute to the OGs.
Now there was a lot of fodder. I don't know if you saw this in Nadeska on the socials about Offset being missed in the dynamic of the three. Back to you, Lo, because you've been a fan of the Migos for a while. Do you feel the dynamic was missing on this album?
I honestly don't. I think those two together held their own. I don't think there was a missing spark or a flair. I felt like they balanced each other out. Production was crazy. The features were good. I felt like that was a really, really good album. The only thing I had, my only reserve is it's too long. It was 18 songs.
They do that a lot.
They do that a lot. But if they cut it down to about 12 to 14, that's a big, big album in 2022.
Yo, I think we got audio actually, or it might be video too, of Quavo talking about Offset. Let's check it out.
I just feel like we want to see our career as a duo, you know what I'm saying? Because, we just came from a loyal family, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to stick together. And, sometimes when shit work out, it ain't meant to be, so.
How do you feel about this compared to the last album then? Do you see a future where it's not the Migos, it's just them two moving forward?
I honestly like moving how this album is moving, and then especially if they turn into a tour and if they just do other things with this, I think they're pretty much good without Offset. I think there's some internal that's gonna affect the creativity that we shouldn't know about, because that's like they said, it's family. So it's not for us to be privy to.
So you think it's mostly business probably related than it is creative?
I think it's very, very personal, and I think the personal will carry over to the creativity, which is why Offset's over here, Takeoff and Quavo over here.
The big stories this week, 2022 BET Hip Hop Awards. I'll start with you, Nadeska. What'd you see of it, and did they get what you saw right?
Well, I guess we could just go through some of the winners. We know watching award shows is your favorite activity.
I do like to watch an award show.
Me and Lo, not so much, but so Kendrick was a big winner. I don't think we would disagree with the awards that he got: Artist of the Year, Lyricist of the Year, Best Live Performer. He also got Album of the Year, which I think we agreed, but it was between him and Pusha, right? That we were debating anyway. So nothing to be upset about there.
The most, I think, anger was around Lotto beating Kodak Black for Song of the Year. Did you guys see this?
Online,
I saw it unfold online.
So she won for Big Energy.
Over Super Gremlin.
Yeah.
Okay, so fans are upset about that.
Looks like he's ready. He was upset.
He was upset.
Kodak was. Okay, I thought you meant Ebro. I was like,
no. I think they landed that. I mean, the woman had Mariah Carey on the remix.
Yeah,
the song was huge.
I don't understand.
What are we even talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I told you guys when I went to St. Lucia a few months ago, they were playing that on the radio out there. Songs doing well internationally.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
I think he just, I don't know what his entitlement is. I don't know what
I think that's one of his biggest songs of his career.
Okay.
It is one of the biggest songs of his career. It was very successful. It was a #1 record in a lot of places. It didn't have the length of run that Lotto did, I think.
So it wasn't, Kodak.
He just got beat. And that
your song wasn't big enough. That's it.
Now this goes back to, I think, and I saw this on social media, people saying Kodak's still in his feelings because she curved him. Because allegedly he was the one from the album, remember when her album came out, that was trying to holler and wouldn't clear the vocal because she didn't, acquiesce to his propositions.
That makes him more, well, he looks more of a dweeb now.
I mean, there's internet fodder. I don't know if that was...
According to internet chatter, he looks more like a dweeb.
The internet, FBI be on their game. They be knowing stuff.
Yeah, the internet ain't stupid.
Let's try to clear some other things up. Here's Kanye West sitting down with a known white supremacist to clear up his White Lives Matter t-shirt.
You know, my dad is a educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today. He said, "White Lives Matter, ha, 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 ha." And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, "Dad, why do you think it was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious. Why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
All right, it's my first time seeing this video because, as I mentioned to you guys, I'm not supporting white supremacy. I would never stream this guy's content. But we have to, because none of you guys watched the 3rd episode of Genius on Netflix.
Okay.
There's a scene where Kanye is riding in the car and watching Fox News for some reason. I think there's a clip of this idiot here complimenting him when he went on the anti-abortion rant, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So I think as part of this rollout, if you want to call it that, he probably knew this was the guy who was going to support his but just a little context for you. Now we could jump in.
Got it. I don't know if Kanye ever does a good job articulating his thoughts. Now, let me start there. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, and then stack on top of that, Kanye West is a troll and a grifter. So you put those things together, and you have a lack of trust and credibility. So for Kanye to think that he could play with White Lives Matter and not get the backlash that he got, I mean, it just proves he's so out of touch and doesn't get it. Like, you know what I mean? He hasn't gotten it for a while. He's not able to grasp or doesn't want to grasp. And I think he monetizes everyone's, outrage.
His social responsibility, the lack of, is egregious. It's like, it's completely obsolete. It's not centered around...
He doesn't care.
Right. And it's just like, but it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's just like, I'm tired of being shocked. I'm tired of us trying to break down, like, well, what did he mean by White Lives Matter? Or why would he say that? Or why is he doing... Like, how do we call it?
Well, I think what's important in what you're saying is because he's been egregious with things that are important to people, you lose the equity and trust and kind of this space where people want to understand what you're trying to do. He's lost that. He hasn't lost the ability to get people to talk about him. He's lost the ability for people to think that he's an actual intellectually sound individual who is trying to make an important statement. Like, because, for instance, in that audio, White Lives Matter, it's an obvious thing, right? Mm-hmm. The reason Black Lives Matter is a statement is because we know White Lives Matter is an obvious thing. That's the whole point. The only reason it's a slogan is because of the devaluing and lack of interest in Black people's lives, whether that be at the hands of the police, whether that be in recognizing our history and the ancestors and everybody who died for us to even have this point in history that we're having right now. When you're talking about missing children, right? There's young Black and brown girls and indigenous women missing, gone, missing. There's no stop news story. It's not plastered all over CNN. A young white girl who's blonde is missing in a murder or something. We see it everywhere. You don't see that for Black children. So that's why the Black Lives Matter thing was a thing.
I'm not saying what he's doing is smart or it's going to work, but that's the only, again, we can't really apply too much logic to the situation, but like you said, he's pointing out something extremely obvious that no one needed. When Diddy tried to step in and talk to him man to man, he called him a Fed, which is the craziest thing I've probably seen on the internet in a long time, and just basically said, nobody gets between me and my money. It's just money. He doesn't care. So he's just trying to make money. He's talking to this white supremacist here on Fox News, posting the 2024 thing. Like, I think he all thinks that he's just trying to reach this Trump audience because he sees how much they support that man. He's just trying to run for president
again. Reading
again.
is like eating Brussels sprouts. Like, where do we go from there? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, and glad you brought that up because then he tweeted he planned to go. He was sleepy, but when he woke up, he planned to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, which sounds like a threat. Obviously, Twitter, Instagram, everybody suspended him. If he read, he would know that DEFCON 3 isn't even a thing. It's DEFCON 3, which refers to military defense. Now, for anybody that actually cares, I believe Kanye West and Jared Kushner, who is Donald Trump's son-in-law,
right,
also used to work in the White House, were best friends.
Oh, yeah?
Talked every day, according to Kanye. I mean, Jared Kushner has a little brother. His name is Josh Kushner. Josh Kushner allegedly invested in Kim's company, Skims. Kanye was pissed. He doesn't like Josh. He doesn't like Jared now either because he believes that Jared held back Donald Trump when Donald Trump was in the White House.
Oh.
So Kanye, now we've been watching Kanye a long time. It's super Kanye to go at all Jewish people because now he's beefing with two Jewish individuals.
Oh.
So the root. Okay.
That's.
Let me just.
Which also is the most bigoted thing that you could ever do.
No. So.
Right? Which is you have a problem with an entire group of people because you have a friend from a group that you don't like no more. So now the whole group got a problem. That's the most racist, bigoted thing you could ever do.
I didn't realize
speaking of social media, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj have been beefing for some time. Mm-hmm. Now, as we sit here at this, I would say one of the heights in hip hop of women having success as rappers. I mean, there's so many successful women in rap right now. It's a great time. Somehow the Cardi B, Nicki Minaj problems has spilled over into all of the other people that they associate with.
Yes.
Right.
Lo, have you been following this?
Unfortunately. First and foremost, I just want to make sure Glorilla stays out of this because that's my favorite rapper right now. So Glorilla.
She got a record with Cardi B.
She got a record with Cardi. So if you're watching this, Glorilla, just keep smiling. Stay out of that. Second, I don't ever think Cardi and Nicki will ever actually address each other. I think all this is going to be social media. It'll stay on social media. The fans are going to play into it. Now I'm hearing Cardi has beef with JT from City Girls, like that.
They went back and forth, but I think they ironed it out as of today.
Okay.
I think they kind of they had a little dust up.
I saw it unfold. So I'm glad that was
But when Nicki put JT as her Avi on Twitter, Cardi responded, which was a great response with Remy as her joint. BX in the building.
And you know what that means.
And everybody got quiet after that. Everybody was like, you got that. Anyway, you got that.
I was like, please, all right, let's keep it social media or let's stay on the wax. Like, when I saw that picture, I'm like, that's one or two things. Like, I don't want to say the obvious, but I knew, like, all right, Cardi not playing.
Yeah.
So I hope at some point, I do hope Cardi and Nicki come to some resolution. I mean, they don't have to like each other. They don't have to sit in the same room. They don't have to make a record together. But, you know, a lot of these young women are coming up, looking at these two as inspiration, looking at what they can do or what they can be. I don't want them to see this and pick up that energy from Cardi and Nicki.
It feels to me like all of these social media antics, whether it be from girls talking going at each other, dudes having, talk on the internet, whatever, comments, even Kanye, whatever, Diddy, whatever. All these antics people are using as their marketing plans to get people to pay attention to them and hopefully go listen to the music. Do you think the fans are getting hip to the fact that this is all just noise and whoever really has the best music is cutting through? And maybe these artists, because I feel like artists will stop doing all this stupid when they realize it ain't helping them in their music.
But has it ever really helped? Like maybe a fan will go stream a music video or something for a minute, but watching someone beefing on Twitter, does that make you go more liable to go check out their album? I feel like that's never really translated, right? I mean, artists who get into controversy all the time, you got into some controversy a couple weeks ago, like The Baby, for example, like all the drama he's in, we talked about him, it felt like every week for 3 months.
And it ended up hurting The Baby,
Is that help? That's the thing. It's
his music just sucks, that's all.
I don't know that it help. So
right, but
yeah, because there's
his music sucks.
There's just so much.
It's not cutting through.
There's so much music out that I don't think the drama is what's sending you to check out someone's album.
Now you brought up me having a problem. What are you talking about?
Uh-oh.
What problem did I have?
You and Akademiks going back and forth on Twitter.
What was that
My
about?
question is,
what was that about?
Do
blocked me.
you guys ever want to have a conversation and resolve this? You both love arguing. I know you both, and you both love arguing. You thrive
I don't
on
really
this.
know if there's anything to resolve. What are we
This
resolving?
is what I mean. Oh, so nothing. So you guys just like going back and forth every once in a while?
Well, he accused me of blackballing artists. That's just not true. I didn't do that, nor do I even have the power to say this artist or that artist. And on top of that, like, the Apple Music platform is open to everyone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you have fans, they search your name, your album comes up, they listen to it.
Right.
Whether you're on the cover of a playlist or not, if your fans want your music,
they'll find your music.
So what are you talking? Like, it makes no sense.
I just think it's
I
funny
actually
that
am so appreciative of Akademiks because it was like when I got accused of having sex with Nicki Minaj.
Right.
Like, it was like, yo, I'm popping out here, fam. Like, what are you talking about? I am on fire. Like, I'm making and breaking careers. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. I loved it. So when you said I had a problem, I didn't have a problem.
Oh, I meant there was a
there
problem.
Was a problem.
Seemed to
People
be a problem.
People have a problem with me all the time, and
yeah.
That's nothing new for him. Like,
yeah, that's like I said.
I didn't necessarily see like the exact back and forth because he blocked me like a year or two ago.
Why?
I guess he don't like me. I guess he has a problem with me.
Oh, so this show is really getting on his nerves. Yeah.
No, I mean, doesn't this predate Rap Life review?
What?
Anyway, shout out to Ak. That's still my friend. I know you guys have problems.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, have you spoken
No,
with him?
why would I? About him beefing with another media personality on Twitter? That's like every day. There's nothing to talk about there.
Okay.
I just think it'd be interesting if one day you guys had like a face-to-face conversation about this.
Would you mediate the conversation?
If they were paying me, which they would not.
I want to see. Now, what I want to see, this is the only thing I want to see.
Yeah.
Because on Twitter, he talking like he got a lot of bass in his voice.
Yeah.
It's the same in person.
I want to see that. That's what I want to. Yeah. The only thing I would sit down with Act for is to see if you're going to call me all type of and all that across the table. I want to see how that works out.
Like I said, if you guys...
I'm really into that.
If y'all would pay me to set this meeting up, I would, but I don't think it's ever going to happen because both of you are happy to just continue this way forever, which is fine.
I honestly don't. The only thing I'm interested in is him talking greasy to me. Like, I want to see him be like, yeah, and like go at me like that. I want to see that.
It would be like a real conversation.
If that happens...
No.
You leaping over the table? Or?
Anyway, I think we got to wrap up the show now.
You want me to
It's not that kind of energy.
We love your comments, both positive and negative. I'm partial to the negativity because I think that's dysfunctional love. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to give somebody that much energy, that means there's love. That's for you, Akademiks. I know you love me, son. I raised you right.
Whoa, okay. So there's one from Mike the Less. You were just talking about the dialogue in Cuddy's movie, Intergalactic, didn't like it. And this one is from Maria de Guzman. So I'm going to read this. She says, look, I understand Ebro and Lowkey have points to make, but the dynamic is not allowing enough room for Nadeska to talk. Please stop talking over one another, especially when Nadeska is forming her thoughts. Interesting points were made, though. Great discussion overall. So I'm not sure which conversation she means, but anyway, thank you, Maria, for caring about my thoughts. I appreciate that. I think maybe...
Hold up, though, Maria.
Let me finish. I was just gonna say this is the running joke in my career, as you can see. But I think in this situation, that's probably more on me to just be more assertive and like yell louder over you guys. No, I'm kidding. Because of all the places where I'm just getting yelled over by men, I feel like these two actually care about what I have to say. But
we do.
I appreciate them and I appreciate you, Maria. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
Appreciate that.
All right, sorry. I know that was no hate, and you like to end on a negative note. So maybe you want to throw something in before we go. Anything else?
I don't really have anything.
There's a lot of slick talking on today's episode.
I don't really have anything. I just want to shout out to my son, Akademiks. I know I wasn't there for you. You spoke on this publicly that when you was coming up, I didn't embrace you and love you the way you needed to be loved. And I'll talk to your mom about it, brother. You know what I'm saying? We gotta
maybe you guys just want to cut this part out so this doesn't go back and forth.
Keep this in there, please.
The point. What up, Ak?
Yo, that's the Rap Life Review, man. Ebro, Low, Nadeska, we love y'all, man. Leave your comments, subscribe, man, right here on YouTube. And also add the Rap Life playlist made possible by Apple Music. See y'all next week.
If you were feeling that episode of the Rap Life Review, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have a question for us, leave it in the comments and we'll hit you back on the next episode.